Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent snapping up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. I made one like this in Tip Top Taupe and chocolate chip, I think it was. It could have been Nolo Espresso. And somebody saw a glimpse of it on one of my videos and she asked if I could show how I made it. So that's what I'm doing. Unfortunately, the original card I don't still have. Somebody wanted to buy it, so obviously I was quite happy to let it go. So I've just made this one. I've used Watermelon Wonder, and the brown is chocolate chip. I've got to be very careful with it because, as I say, I have just made it and I've put crystal effects on the body there. It's dried on either end but not in the centre, so I'll put it out of the way, I think, and I need to keep it in view so that I can follow which way I'm going, but I don't want to put anything on top of it and spoil it all. So what we're going to need is the card base. I've used is 6x6. I took it from the 12x12 Whisper White sheets. You could do 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 if you'd like, then just make the alterations for the other sizes. I really don't think 1/4 inch is going to make very much difference. Anyway, so the cardstock, as I say, is 12 inches by 6, scored at 6 inches and folded in half. Then the top layer is Watermelon Wonder, and that measures 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I have a piece of DSP that measures 4.5 by 4.5, and I also have a piece of chocolate chip that measures 4.5 by 4.5. These are for the circles. As this one is just our envelope paper and it's going to be going on to embossed paper, I've also die cut a circle so that I can lay that on top. I think that's too thin. I think it might just form into all the bumps of the embossing. So if you want to use envelope paper, you may want to do this as well. You also need a piece of Whisper White for the sentiment, and that measures 1 1/8 by 3 inches. And you also need some watermelon. Crikey, I am having trouble saying this today. Watermelon Wonder, and this is approximately, how far did I say? 2 5/8 inches by 7 inches, and that'll give us 2 butterflies. So the first thing I'm going to do is to stamp the 2 butterflies, and then I'm going to bring the big shot in to do all of the work that I need on there. So for my 2 butterflies, the first one is, I'll show you very carefully, whoops, this one here, I don't know whether you can see that I've stamped a pattern on there, very briefly. Yes, you can. I've used the spotty stamp from Gorgeous Grunge on there. So I'll do that little bit first. In fact, oh no, I've moved all this out of the way because I was bringing my big shot. But then I thought, no, I've got to do my stamping first. I try to be organised, but it doesn't often work. Right, so half of this is about 3.5 here. Oh, there's my butterfly, that's good. So if I say to about there, that's how much I need to do my Gorgeous Grunge. Okay, so let's do it this way. And because there's lots of holes cut into the butterfly, I do make sure that I've stamped this quite a bit so that it's quite a solid pattern. There we go, that should do nicely. Now my other butterfly, I'm doing the first layer sorry, let me tell you what I'm using here. This is Watercolour Wings, and I'll be using that one, that one, that one. If I remember, I'll also give him a body and also antennae. So that's all from that one. I have said on a previous video, if you do ever do things like this, like I have, you've stamped out butterflies, if you want to remember what they were, just write on them what colours you've used. When I first started this, I did so many butterflies and I didn't think about writing down the names, and I went back to try and redo what I've done, and I've lost it. Right, so the butterflies, I've got my stamps here, I've got my ink. So my first one is going to be in Watermelon Wonder. I think tonight I'll have to have homework, write out Watermelon Wonder 100 times. Okay, now I don't use a piercing mat underneath my Photopolymer stamps. I just hold them down long enough so that the paper has a chance to take on board the ink, and I find that works. Now my second butterfly, I'm also using Watermelon Wonder. I'm going to give up in a minute and start again if I keep going like this. Watermelon Wonder, and I'm going to stamp off once. I don't want to do it too much because going on to Watermelon Wonder paper, it's not going to show up too much. I don't mind it being faint, but I just don't like it being invisible, which was the first time I did it, I have to say. That's good. Happy with that one. And then I'm going to move on to my chocolate chip and use the third stamp, which is here. And then just pop that on top. I'll bring it a bit closer to me to see how well I can get it lined up. Oops, moved it then. Much easier when you get your head over the top of it. Right, let's see. What have we done there? Yes, that's good. Okay, so all I've got to do now is get my... No, it's all done now for my big shot. Just get that over now. Okay. So let's move those there. Bring the big shot over. And I'm going to emboss my top layer, my Watermelon Wonder sheets, with my Fluttering embossing folder, which is here. So I'm just going to line that up, make sure it's straight by just putting it alongside the straight edges. There we go. And to put the embossing folders, I thought this was just applying to the new big 6-inch ones, but I found out that putting these into your big shot, they should all be put with the fold of the embossing folder going in first. I'd heard that we had to do it for the 6x6s, but I didn't realise that we had to do it, well, we should do it rather, for all of them. And the reason being is because it helps to prevent them from being cracked. the folds. There we go, that's that bit done. That's my butterflies. That's beautiful, I really like that one. And then I'm going to do my die cuts of my butterflies, and one of these is going to go, this one here, is going to go onto my new precision plate, which, if you saw an earlier video where I used this, I put a double shim underneath the precision plate. I just find that it works that little bit easier. It does make it a little bit tough to crank through, but okay, so there's under here, this is a precision plate, there is no cutting mat underneath that, there's just one on top. Okay, so this is where it starts getting a bit tough, and I'm going to bring it back again. There we go. I'll pop that one down, move that away, and I think for all the other things I can bring in the other mat. Now I can bring a platform, I can bring in my magnetic platform. Right, don't need that either. So I need one for this butterfly. Let's just cut off the excess there. So that is for that one. And while I'm doing this, I might as well see what other pieces I can get on here at the same time. This one, I need the out of our circle framelits out of here. We get 10 circles including the scalloped ones, and I'm using 8 and 9. So number 9 is going to do my DSP, or my envelope paper that I'm using as DSP. Those through. So that's that butterfly. That circle. And then I just need to do the brown frame around my circle. There's that one, and pop that in the middle. I'll just bring the card over to remind you what part this is. Right, okay. Okay, so that's not DSP that's been layered onto a larger circle. This is actually a frame that's gone round it, which is why I was concerned about the DSP going straight onto embossed cardstock. That jumped, didn't it? Look at that. Right, be a bit more careful. Okay, so what we get now is the frame and a circle to be saved for another project. So that is everything for the big shot. So let's put that on the floor. Okay, so don't need those. Right, I'm going to start putting everything together now. And I'm going to put my top layer, my embossed sheet, on with Tombow. Yep, that's ready to go. I tend to go round all the raised bits to put my glue on first. And then I just do the big bits that are the debossed bits. Just a little bit over the centre. Now I've cut this so that it's a 1/4 of an inch shorter, smaller than the cardstock, so that I get a larger white edge. Normally I just do 1/8 of an inch. There we go. So then I'm going to put this on. Better not do it on there, had I? Just in case it leaks. I have no worries about this sticking now. So let me put the brown frame on. If you get little hairy bits, just knock them off with your finger. Okay, again I'm going to use Tombow, if I can see which is the right or wrong side. Put a little bit around. Pop that onto the outside. Gently keep pulling it out until it does what you want it to do. There we go, I think that's good. Okay, now I'm going to do my butterfly, because I'm not sure which way round I want this. I imagine I'll have it at an angle, but until my butterfly is done I'm not sure. So for the main one I'm just folding the body to get myself a nice flat surface to put my glue on, like that. And this one, which I've used my precision plate for, and put that down just to show that these do just pop out. precision plate will be available when the new catalogue comes out on the 1st of September. But as a demo, I've been able to pre-order, and it gives us a chance to play with these things, to find out what we think of them and how to get the best out of them. And I wasn't sure, I've never used a precision base plate before, I didn't even know what it was. But since I have been using it, I'm happy. I am really very happy. And I would certainly recommend you getting one. No more dryer sheets, no more wax paper. Most of these, as you've seen, have just popped out nice and easily. Much, much nicer. Right, okay. Let's fold this body as well. So I know what I need to do. I said to you, if I remember, didn't I? Right, the body and the antennae. Do those both in brown, chocolate chip. Okay, so this is the body. I should have done this before I folded, but never mind. Excuse my head if I'm getting too far forward. Fingers crossed. No, that's okay. Good. And I'm going to use Tombow again. Oh, here you are. It's leaking. Did you bring any kitchen towel with you? Not by the looks of things, excuse me. There we go, it's dribbling. I just put a little bit of Tombow along that body. Put this body on top of it. Oh, you silly so-and-so, look what I've done. I've put the body on the wrong piece. Ah, not my day today, is it? So ready to put the body. Here it is. Let's see if we can do it on top. Oh, this is a bit more difficult. Right, stick with it. Hey! That wasn't so bad, look at that. Right, now how do I want this to go? At an angle, or just keep the butterfly at an angle? I think I'm doing it straight. Right. So pop that down onto your card base, and then with the butterfly, decide where it's going to go, and you either make a mental note of where it's going to go, or just do a tiny little pencil mark, and that's where you're going to be putting the antennae. Now what I'm going to do is do it slightly above that, so that when I put the butterfly down, it's going to cover my pencil mark. I don't want to start trying to erase that while I've got wet ink. There. Okay, so I'll put some more glue on his body. Pop that down to meet up with the antennae. And then all I need to do now is the sentiment, and the sentiment I have used is from Birthday Blossoms, and I'm using this. So what I've done, I've already got my Stampin' jig set up ready, because I have a small piece of paper which is the right size. And what I'm going to do is, if I can see the, yes I can, the temporary adhesive, I'm going to just put this down, because if the Stampin' jig doesn't reach the paper, at least that adhesive will hold it in place for me. Now I'm going to do it down towards the right hand side, because I'm going to punch a hole this end and put the bow, tie the ribbon there. But I still want a little gap there because I'm going to round the corners. So I think that will be nice. In fact, the Stampin' jig is holding my piece of paper, but I'm quite happy to err on the side of the err on the side of caution. I'm going to do my stamp, which is here, in Watermelon Wonder. Well done, madame, we got it. Oops, what's that? Okay, let's try this. There we go. I really like this font. Well, not just font, it's a design of the way it's done. I like the flag bit and then birthday. Just get rid of this crumbed macaroni, not macaroni, marzipan, crumbed marzipan. Really don't like that stuff. So that's it. I'm using my 1/8 of an inch handheld hole punch. I'm going to punch a hole this end. Make sure it's halfway width-wise. And judge how close I want it to the edge there. That looks about right. There we go. Okay. Although this ribbon is, I don't know, 1¼ inches wide or something, it's very, very fine, and it will go through a little hole like that. I'm just going to round the corners of the sentiment using the Project Life corner rounder, and then with the dotted lace trim, which is, what is it? Oh, it's just 1 inch wide. Just feels a lot wider. I didn't actually measure how much I needed, so let's keep it on the reel for the time being, and we'll see how we go. There we go, just needed a bit of encouragement to go through there. Ribbon scissors. So how long is that? That's about 11 inches, I think. So as this goes through, it goes through folded, so I try and make sure that it is sort of as close to folded in half as possible. And then I start, so that I've kept this all in half, and then I start tying it. I do the knot first. I find it's easier to rearrange the bow if I've kept this in half. Okay, so that's that bit. Now I will open it up. One piece, and then this one. This is really lovely to rearrange and play about with till you get it the way you'd like it. Right, here we go. Now bearing in mind I want the tails to go this side I don't want it to cover up my sentiment. Alright, so you want to go that side. Oops, wrong piece. Okay, so just give it a little pull and a tug. Turn around a little bit, and I don't mind you coming down. There we go. I think that'll look quite pretty, won't it? That might be a bit on the big side. It is really, isn't it? That's better. Okay, let's cut some off. In fact, what would be quite easy for this is to fishtail it, wouldn't it? Because I've been trying to fold it, except I always do it the wrong way round and finish up with an arrow. There we go, that one's okay. Let's do this one. There we go, very pretty. I do like pretty. Now I'm going to put this onto my card using dimensionals, which seem to have gone, oh no, here they are. But this is one of those things where I like the corners and in the centre, but these are just too big. So what I do is I take two of them and I just cut them in half. Let's get rid of some of this paper for a minute. Right, so take that one, cut it in half, cut that in half, and then I will have one whole one in the centre. I have that. See, that's all it needs. Now I will show you how I did the crystal effects, just in case you'd like to do that on yours. Only thing is, you do have to remember to be very careful about keeping it protected from anything else you may be doing. So all I do with this is I wait until it starts coming down, and then I don't allow my nozzle to touch my cardstock, but I allow it to run until it looks as if there's enough to fill the body. I'm very careful when I get to the end there. Let me just pick that up and show you. Okay, it's all very creamy to start off with, but it will dry. In fact, it looks as if it's getting big hips at the moment. Let's tip that back down there a bit. It's quite liquid at the moment. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I much prefer this one because I felt that with this one it's too dark to have a dark background in here. I think it needed the white. I know the brown one had a much lighter bit at the back there. I mean, I still like it, but I just feel that it looks better like that. Anyway, many thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'll be very happy to help you. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll find the link on the right hand side of the screen, or it may be underneath your screen depending what you're watching this on. If you'd like to buy any of the products I've shown you here, please click on the 24/7 link that you can see on the bottom of the screen. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.